Something that I've learned that I'll never forget. Be genuine to yourself. Trust the process, and ultimately your time will come.
Well, welcome back, cowboys and cowgirls, to another episode in the TX Whiskey Behind the Curtain studio. My name is Chelsea Sutton. I am so excited to be joined here with Katelyn and Bash. Thank you guys for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
Well, you guys are qualified and competitors here in just a few hours in the Jump for a Million, the first competition of the Run for a Million, first competition year, rather, I should say, for dock diving. Tell us a little bit about Bash, age, breed, where you guys come from.
Yeah, Bash is 5.5 years old. He was born in Colorado, so just on a farm. He was the last litter looking for a home, and I was like, it's COVID time, I want another puppy. So yeah, and so he is an All-American by AKC standards, so mixed breed. He's mostly cattle dog and corgi, so most people think he's a cowboy corgi, but he's got actually 17 more breeds in them, and I can't even list them all so something like Rottweiler, Border Collie, like all these different things. We came here from Oregon, but we've been living the last 6 years, which is where we got started with his career in dock diving in Colorado.
Tell us how you found dock diving.
I found dock diving with my older dog. I was living in Kentucky at the time. We had just learned about it, and he hadn't really started anything, and we had just moved to Colorado, and so that's how we started. So it started with my older dog. He does it, but he's like, meh, it's cold water. I don't like it. So when I got Bash here, that was my really big start into dog sports, not just dock diving, but others as well. But that was the gateway to it. It was a lot of fun. People are very inviting and friendly and willing to teach, and teaching different methods too, and not just, hey, throw the toy off the dock or see if they go for it. So they were really inviting to be able to do that as well.
Could you give us an insight into some of that, some methods that maybe you've tried over the years that have really helped?
Mm-hmm. So toy drive was a big one, is what I was told. I did not do that with, of course, my older dog. So he's like, you want me to go after what? But I built up that toy drive from the start of like 3 months of age. So chasing things, being able to go after discs or toys. And we also did it to where that toy came out just during training. And so it was very high reward for him to do that, and wanting to please and be able to do it. His favorite sport is dock diving. So he would go in that water with or without the toy just because he wants to go, but add that toy and it's very big for him. And so some of that training too is working with the right coach. I worked a lot with Steve Powell, being able to go with different events, and he was the one. We went to his facility in Minnesota and got him started with air retrieve. And Bash here does not, a lot of times with air retrieve, you start doing dryland training where the bumpers just hang in over dryland and they go take it off a rig. He does not like that. He's like, no, it has to go over the water. That's how it is. And so Steve was able to work with him and be able to do that and jump and get his first ever after like one lesson to be able to do it. So air retrieve is one of the ones that we do, and there's just different methods of training, and we just love them all.
Tell me a little bit about how you got qualified to get here in Las Vegas.
Yes, we finished about a year ago now, one of his excellent titles, I believe, and we did that at the Climb Classic last year, and then we submitted all his social media stuff. We had to create a video, submit the photos, and then being able to get those votes in to get into that top 25 spots or whatnot, to be able to do that. And so we did that, and I was fortunate enough to be in a very big dog community in Colorado at the time, and so they were like, yes, let's get Bash there. And I even knew people who knew people in Vegas. I was like, go vote for him in Vegas when he got to Vegas. And so some of them came over just to vote for Bash.
Yes.
Over is what I was told. And I was like, that's really cool. And so I wasn't able to come promote him last year, but I just think his video, that he's a small, actually pretty big jumper for a small dog, was able to help push him through. And he's just got a fun personality on the dock. And so we were able to get the first alternate spot on the social media run. And in January, Steve called me up just after New Year, like, you ready to go to Vegas? And I'm like, really? And he's like, yes, get prepared to go. Unfortunately, another competitor had to drop, but we were able to come based off of that. And so that's why we're here.
And now you're here. So you've known since January. You've had 7-ish months. What kind of preparation have you done to make sure that you're managing and getting Bash ready?
So besides practicing at a pool, we do dryland training in terms of just exercising, so working the muscles, so he doesn't get strained or anything, and that requires balance balls and things of that nature, steps coming down. And recently, just in the last 2 months, has been really helpful. We moved out to some property out in Oregon, and he runs at least 2 miles up and down hills a day. So just for him to be able to do that, he's building his stamina, and just building that drive, spending time with him is a big one too, is bringing out that bumper occasionally to do that training of saying, this is what we're doing. Even packing, coming here this morning, he saw the bumpers come out. He said, let's go. I'm not eating breakfast. We got things to do. And so being able to do some of that training and drive and pieces of that, we are fortunate before we moved to Oregon that there was pools close by to be able to go do training and just work on that swimming. But I think a lot of it is also what you spend outside of that training and some of those exercises that you can do as well.
Personal best.
His personal best is about 20 feet 1 inches, I believe, or 20 feet 3 inches, but he averages about 17.9.
Okay.
He has been jumping some 18-19s in the last couple of events, so that's been really fun to see. Yeah, so he's only hit that 20 foot twice, I think, and for distance, and if he hits it again, I'd be really happy.
No kidding. And as I understand it, there's a handicapping process. So they're taking the average over the course of the season, right? And they compare that to the competitors, the best competitors' average, and you get a subtraction, and that's your handicap.
Yes.
So he's able to truly be on an equal playing field with some of his bigger competitors.
Yes. I greatly appreciate that handicap because it allows all the dogs to play, because the top jumping dog, which is I believe incognito here this week or today, is great jumper, but Bash is never going to hit a 26 footer just because some lap dogs do it, but he's just not one of them. But I think it levels the playing field that if he can jump his best, that's what we want to see and get the crowd going. He loves being riled up on the dock. And so I think that's just one of the things that is great about this event, is that it's allowing not just the big jumpers to jump, it's allowing all the jumpers to jump, and it's putting your best foot forward.
And keeping that excitement, right? Because you feel like you still have a shot.
Yes. Having a shot is really cool. The experience is great as well. And just being able to come represent it this first time, there's 16 dogs. He's one of 16 that got chosen out of thousands of dogs that are in NAD. And so that's really awesome as well.
You talked about his personality on the dock. Can you tell us a little bit about how that shows up, and if there's maybe any cue words that you guys use or any techniques to get him excited?
So he's really excited. He's gung-ho getting up on the dock, and I usually have a holder for him because he can do a stake, but it's not usually his best. And so that holder is a big key. And because they whisper and rev him up and sitting there, because he lays down and and he's ready to go. And so we say ready, set, go, and he gets let go. And but that holder is the biggest key of revving him up at the back, like just whispering, are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? And he knows what he's supposed to do. And then it's my job to throw the toy correctly, because it can mess up their jump off point a little bit depending on how you throw, but just having fun with him up there. Once he comes up, so one of his personalities on the dock, but we're trying to work on, but not always, and he seems to only do it at competitions. At practice, he doesn't do this. He likes to stay at the bottom of the ramp and keep the toy down there, and I have to go down and get him. And so he's like, you can't reach me. And so, but we come up and then we play tug with the toy. That is the best thing. He loves to play tug with the toy. He's ruined many toys with the strappings, because that is his favorite part of the toy, is to tug. And then he carries that toy down once we're done. He's like, he doesn't care about it until we get on the dock necessarily. He won't necessarily play tug or anything, but after that, he's like, I'm proud, I got the toy. And he'll even bark on the dock. Air retriever is a big one that he barks because the toy's hanging out above the water, and he's like, yes, I want to go get it. Distance, he does more of that tug game. So that's really fun to see coming out.
I love it.
Second handler that's getting him revved up at the back. So I try to find the craziest person I can find that's just going to be, are you sure you want him to? I was like, yes, I want him revved up. And so just that outgoing personality at the back of the dock is what's going on.
It sounds like some people bring that person with them, and you're finding someone at the event?
Yes, Christy with Nat is supposed to be doing it, so we'll find out. Somebody's going to do it. I travel a lot by myself with my dogs, and so I usually just find somebody. And that's the good thing about the sport is usually at different events, they are willing to say, hey, we'll hold your dog. I'm always willing to hold the dog for somebody else. I'm not, because some dogs are a handful on the dock, depending on what breed they are, and some people are very uncertain, and to have somebody else, and I'm like, yes, we're good. So I just try to find somebody just randomly. And he's really good. He goes for it. He's like, I don't care if you're holding me. I'm going for that toy. So whoever. But I try to find somebody that's, I'm like, can you just wrap him up? That's all I want. Just whisper to him. And so he has that hand collar so you can hang on it. It's a nice loose grip and that he will be wearing. And so that's really fun too.
I love to hear that. Well, I know with North America diving dogs, you guys have mobile docks. There's competition all over the country, as I'm learning. Mm-hmm. What does it mean to qualify and be here to compete in Las Vegas for you?
It means a lot because it's showing hard work that we've done. It's showing that people recognize not only the larger dogs, the larger higher jumping, but also the little dogs to have fun with. And I think that is a big thing with sports and dog sports in general. Not everybody thinks the little dogs can do different things, and then we kind of can prove them wrong in that sense, and it's really fun. I think it's just fun to be in this atmosphere, jumping. I did not know much about horses. I did not grow up around horses, but I'm learning that too. So it's like I get to see all of that, and I got to meet Casey Deary's kids yesterday because they came by the booth and happened to see Bash, and so that was really fun. And just being able to put his showmanship out there and prove that our hard work can be seen, and it also invites more people to the sport. Mm-hmm. That they would not normally see something like this or not know even that it exists. So putting it out there in the world is one of the faster growing sports that is happening, and just showing that your dog can come. A lot of events have tryouts to be able to do that and be able to show up and say, hey, can my dog at least see the water, and go from there. And so I'm really excited to do that. We've gotten to practice, and yes, so that's been the greatest experience. And I get to see a lot of my doc friends. That is also to be able to experience it with my friends here. I know several of the competitors that came because we get to see each other all across the country at different events. I think it's a good gear up to even nationals coming up and regionals, which we get to do later this month and in a couple months. And so I think that's a big component as well, is just looking at the crowd and being able to do it.
Well, I appreciate you spending a few moments here with us in the studio. I know you have a lot of preparation to do because you guys are competing today. We are wishing you guys all the best of luck.
Thank you. We appreciate being here.
Well, thank you guys so much. My name is Chelsea Sutton. We'll see you next time in another episode in the TX Whiskey Behind the Curtain studio.